Hello, everybody. This is Bob Kingpin Harris, and along with Brian Cano Sr. This is D-Backs Weekly Inside the Game, and this is an update after the series against the Rangers. Brian?
Bob, thanks for the intro. What a series! Wow, I was at the game yesterday and watching game two of that series, and uh, after watching the Alec Thomas catch, we'll talk about a little bit later on. I just couldn't unwind until about 2 a.m. I was so excited to see the team playing very well, coming off the heels of a sweep of a team that's leading the AL West right now, and you know. There's so much to talk about, Bob. Especially being in light, it's an update. We felt it was important to come on and talk about this two-game sweep of the Rangers. It's phenomenal.
It, it was it was a great series. Diamondbacks are playing very, very good. They're 8-2, I believe, now in the last 10. Just playing uh, good baseball. And you know what? I have to say this now. And I almost brought it up in yesterday's pregame press conference, but Tommy Pham has had a tremendous impact on this team. I have never seen, I don't think I've ever seen it as an intense ball player as I've seen in Tommy Pham. This guy comes up there every time and he looks like he wants to kill something. And of course, killing something is the baseball,
Yeah,
but just the way that he seems to play,
yes.
very, very intense.
Tommy Pham brings a level of intensity that's very. It's not unusual to see, but it's very rare in some cases because that's a constant level of professionalism where he himself holds himself from what I see, from what I can tell, he must hold himself to a standard that he sets himself. That no one is harder on Tommy Pham than Tommy Pham. Now, I spoke to Bob Nightingale, who of USA Today yesterday, and Bob did a piece on Tommy Pham in 2017 that I encourage the readers to read. And it'll give you more insight on Tommy Pham's life and some of the things that he's been through in his life. And I don't really care to discuss too much of what happened in San Diego. I think that anytime a fan disrespects a player on the field, it's there's nothing good that can come of that. And and if no one knows what I'm referring to, there was an altercation in San Diego where Tommy engaged with a fan. And as a reporter, I'm just not going to continue talking about it after I speak about it briefly here today because I don't think that Tommy Pham that was indicative of his attitude all the time in a high pressure situation. But as it relates to his presence on this team, Bob, he's rubbing off, in my opinion, on in a way that's conducive to success. He's really
Yeah.
leading in some areas.
Yeah, he's leading by example.
Yes.
That's the thing. His intensity is just, I've said it before, but to me, it's, I hate to say it, but it reminds me a little bit of when I was competitively bowling. I
Yeah.
mean, in tournaments, you can joke around and fool around in that dugout, you know, and I used to joke around and fool around, but when that guy was up in front of me, I was sitting down and I was thinking about my next shot. And when I got up on that wood, as I call it, and I got ready to go, I mean, I was locked in.
Locked in,
And,
man.
and I think he's the same way. The only thing is, though, you hardly see this guy smile. I mean, during a game, I mean, he is concentrating. And listen, the first game of the series, let's just say he got the walk-off win. And of course, we have to thank Marte for hitting a home run to tie the game on a 1-0 game. But he did that in the top of the bottom of the ninth inning, wasn't it? Yeah, the bottom of the
Yeah,
ninth
no,
inning. And as a matter of fact, I spoke to Bobby Freeman yesterday, who's the longtime organist. He's been the only organist for the Diamondbacks, and he sits way up, as you know, up in what they call the sandlot section, which is right near the roof. And he said that the ball that Marte hit reminded him of a Goldschmidt home run, where it was that high. He said the thing almost scraped the roof, and he wasn't quite sure that it was going to go out, but we know that it went out by 4 or 5 rows.
Oh, it was well struck, and it was Chapman supplied a lot of the Aroldis Chapman, who
Right.
I didn't anticipate him giving up that Bombsky to Marte, but it was thrilling. And frankly, I was watching Marte's reaction. He knew it right away. He hit it, and he knew it. He didn't sprint out. He kind of like watched it for a second, and I knew the ball game was tied. And I felt really good for the team because it's you and I spoke about this series a little bit in our last podcast,
Yep.
and I felt like it was going to be a low scoring game or two for the D-backs to be successful. Turned out, it was a good game, and the D-backs ended up winning 4-3. Justin Martinez, let's see, Mantiply, McGough, Cecconi through 5 innings. He gave up a homer, I think, to Garcia in the 7th. And then you got Martinez, the flamethrower, pumping it up about 101. And then Castro came in to finish it off. I think they gave up 1 run, the relievers, other than Cecconi.
Right.
But no, I think that it was a good team effort, and Tommy Pham, walking it off was kind of
Right.
icing on the cake. Yeah,
Right.
it was a great win.
And Cecconi, and you did mention him, and I believe he pitched like 5 innings,
Yeah,
4 or 5 innings, and he only gave up the 1 home run. So I mean, he pitched very, very well. It, it was a bullpen game, right? I
it
mean, it was
was.
a bullpen game. It worked out well for the Diamondbacks, and Tommy Pham just sealed the deal
No, it
in
was
in that bottom of the 11th inning. It was just great to see. It's huge. And then we go into Tuesday night, right?
oh
Where
yeah.
we have the man. We've got Zac Gallen going ahead. And you know what? Even though he gave up a few runs, didn't he? Um, Maybe I'm wrong on that, but
No, he pitched 6 complete innings. He got 11 strikeouts.
maybe gave up 1 run or
I know he gave
whatever
up like
during
7
that time.
hits. Yeah,
Yeah. Whatever it was in there. The thing is, though, I think you know, he's had a great year. 14, that was his 14th win.
yeah,
He's 14-5. He's tied for the National League lead in wins right now with 14. So that means he's up for Cy Young Award along with Justin Steele and Strider, I believe, out of Atlanta.
yeah.
So they both have, or they all three have 14 wins. But I think that this game that we saw Zac throw last night, I actually think he had his best stuff of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, everything was working.
Yeah, no, as you know, Bob, I do a digital story. I do my best to put out a post game, and I'll quote unquote Gallen possessed remarkable command, particularly in his ability to consistently target Gabriel Moreno's desired location, often placing the ball precisely on the outer corner of the strike zone, just below the knee. Now, what I mean by that was his cutter, his off-speed pitches that were not necessarily strikes in the strike zone, but they looked like strikes out of his hand. And by the time they got to the strike zone, they were dropping off the table and they were swinging at him anyway. Which to me, I think Zac Gallen needs to have his pitches working in unison to be as successful as he has been. And right now he's right now the Cy Young Award winner in my book at this time of the season. Let's see what happens the rest of the season. But right now, if I was to have a vote in it, I would say that I'm no homer, but he's earned it. I mean, there's a couple of games in there that he was taken out a little early, where he had a lead, and
Yep.
They could have won those games. And but anyway, 14 wins
And,
thus far. He's doing well.
all right. And you did mention one guy right there. Hasn't this team turned around since Gabby's been back, Moreno?
Yeah,
I mean, this team, we saw this in the beginning of the year. I mean, I don't need to beat a dead horse in Carson Kelly because he is a dead horse, even though he's playing for Detroit.
yeah,
But Gabby was the guy who controlled this team. Gabby was the guy who came through. Gabby's the guy who's still catching great, and Gabby is hitting.
yeah.
This, I don't think it's any coinkydink that that this team has turned around with Gabby back in there.
No, yeah, no. It's definitely apparent to me and to a lot of folks, I would imagine, that the team is better not because Carson Kelly's not with the club, but because Gabriel Murno's playing at a very high level. And with that being said, I think that Carson Kelly would have been a suitable backup, but I don't
Right.
run the team. I don't run the team. And I think the decisions that were made in the best interest of the club. And for some reason, the D-backs management must have felt that Herrera and Moreno make a better 1-2 punch than Moreno and Kelly. And they let their money speak for them. And they made a very difficult decision. And I have Torrey on the record, and so do you, on what they felt about, and maybe we'll go and dive into that. But I just think, going forward, the D-backs right now are second in the NL West. They're 66 and 61. They're 11 and a half games behind the Dodgers. I don't think they're going to catch the Dodgers. Dodgers are playing very well.
But won't catch the Dodgers, but let's focus in on that wild card spot. Let's just win as many games as they can. Like right now, as we sit here right now, today, at what time is it? Phoenix time right now? About
11
a.m. Yeah, almost 11 o'clock. The Diamondbacks are actually in. If the season ended right now, they would be in the wild card spot.
Yeah.
They would be one of the 3 wild card teams in the National League.
Yeah, no, at their lowest this season, recently, it seemed like they were hitting lows each week, another low, another low. It's really nice to see the transformation of the team and how it's not transformed, but retransformed itself into what it was in the beginning of the season when we were all so excited, and so were they, frankly. The energy was high. The fans were showing up last night, for whatever reason, Bob. There was only a little over 19,000 people in the stands last night. And I'm not really sure why that is. With the Texas Rangers in town, the D-backs playing well right now, trying to clinch a series. I was expecting to see anywhere from 25 to 30,000 people in the stands last night. So I'm not sure.
Right. And I have an observation on that. As you talk about that, really all the schools are back in session right now. I think that had a lot to do with it. I am expecting huge crowds this weekend. I would hope that, I think you're right. I would hope that Thursday night, when they take on the Cincinnati Reds in the first of that 4-game series, that there will be 25 to 30 out there. Same thing for Friday. Hope it's even a little bit bigger. Saturday is going to be packed. It is Corbin Carroll bobblehead night.
That's right.
These bobbleheads on eBay right now, pre-sales are $60. I guarantee you they're going to go over 100.
Wow.
Corbin Carroll, Corbin Carroll is a star, and listen, the first 15,000 people get it. So if this is the game that you want to go to, and you want to get a Corbin Carroll bobblehead, which is really cool looking because it's like him, like supposedly running,
he's running,
so
all right.
It's really cool.
What a treat,
and,
man.
The thing. Yeah, I mean, get out there early. It's a 5:10 start. You better get out there early.
Yeah, no, you and we're very blessed to be able to cover the D-backs on a regular basis, and I encourage those that can attend. It's a great experience. D-backs do a good job of making sure that the fans are engaged. They do something in between every inning. The players are really stepping up and conducting themselves. I saw Corbin Carroll on Bleacher Report. They do tend to interview on some of the better known, in some cases, better known platforms. So I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more learning more about the players, a little bit more as we go. But certainly this week, if you have a chance to go to see the D-backs in person, the Reds got a good program there. They got Ellie, what's his name? Ellie De La Cruz, 6'5". De La Cruz, he's a rookie.
Yeah.
He 6'5" switch hitter, smashes the ball.
Big guy. And I think he's supposed to be one of the fastest guys in the league.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's supposed to be faster than Corbin. So, which is really fast. So, and is 6'5", seeing a 6'5" guy that fast, that's pretty exciting. So you're going to see a battle of the rookies out there. Um, you did mention that Zach Davies is coming back.
Yeah.
I want to see what's going to happen because remember, Zach Davies has been hurt twice this year. He was pitching very good, actually. I thought, even though he wasn't getting the wins in the beginning part of the season, but I thought he was pitching good. Then he had the oblique injury. He came
Yeah.
back from the oblique and he was horrible,
Yeah.
just horrible. Now he hurt. What injury did he hurt now? I'm
Bob, that's a
trying
good
to
question. There's a
remember.
list of them there, and I can't recall. I know the oblique, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden
I think it's might be a back injury of some sort. But I hope he comes back the way that he did first part of the season because the Diamondbacks need that third solid pitcher. And if Fott is anything like he was last time,
yeah.
he was tremendous. He had a no-hitter going, was it through 7 innings?
Yeah.
I think he pitched six and a
Six.
third before he was finally, yeah,
Soto
gave up a
tagged him.
hit.
Yeah, Soto
So
tagged him. No, hey,
yeah,
listen, well, Thursday
yeah,
night they
but
got Fat going against Brandon Williamson. That's a good matchup Thursday night. Friday night we got Merrill Kelly, the mainstay, going against Hunter Green, who's phenomenal. I think Hunter Green is one of his record doesn't indicate his talent as far as I'm concerned. He's 2-5 with a 4.72 ER, but he's got a lot of talent, Hunter Green. And on Saturday, the D-backs have, like we just said, Zach Davies hitting the mound, but the Reds haven't announced their starters yet. And as far as Sunday, the fourth game of the series, neither club has announced starter, as far as I know, at this point in time for that game.
yeah.
So it's going to be a hell of a series, though. Both teams have a lot to play for. This could be a defining series for the D-backs.
Yeah, it could be. And Merrill Kelly can't be any worse than he was last time. And he still pitched good. He didn't get the win that game, did he?
Merrill Kelly right now,
I'm not sure. Is he
he's 10
like,
and 5, Bob, right now. So
so maybe he did. Maybe he did. He did not have his best stuff.
no.
So, that was very unusual, but I expect Merrill Kelly to come out strong. This team right now is playing at a very high level, and it's going to be a fun series. And fans, if you can, get out there.
Yeah,
Get out there, support these guys, get out there, start cheering. I don't want to hear more Cincinnati fans than Diamondbacks fans this weekend at all.
No, the guys deserve some help from the fans in the stands, and of course the D-backs are now, because they're not just on their Bally's is no longer just airing their games. They have like another 4 point something 5 million viewers that are available to them. So whether you watch them in person or catch them on the tube or wherever, just make sure you get a chance to spend some time watching the D-backs. Anyway, I want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the catch, and I'm gonna call it the catch because last night, in the ninth inning, Sewald comes in, and I don't know who it was, but somebody laced one out into right center field, and there goes Alek Thomas. He's racing back, and he's getting closer to the wall, and he actually leaves his feet. And to me, that's one of the most scary plays for me anyway, as a runner going towards an immovable object where he's going to have to either, hopefully not hit himself too hard, but he's going to run into that object. But he was without this, with disregard, it was what a catch. And if the guys weren't feeding off of that after that, I mean, let's face it, Nick Pierco and Theo Mack from the AZ Republic were quoted in saying that, this is kind of corny, but to me anyway, that it was as if Lourdes Gurriel, they said, and Kevin Ginkel, who had seen the play, were looking in awe. They quote unquote, it was as if they had just seen a man walk on water. That's what Nick and Theo wrote, and I thought that it didn't quite reach that level for me, but I think the guys were very impressed with his dedication to the team, because that's a team catch. He did that for the other players on the team, not just himself. This isn't an individual sport. So he laid out and dove for that ball and risked injury in the ninth inning of a game where they were up a couple runs. Says a lot about Alek Thomas. And so with that being said, that was just for me one of the highlights of the season, and hopefully the D-backs will feed off of that catch.
Yeah, yeah, and let's just talk a little bit about Alek Thomas. Besides that tremendous catch, we know that he plays a great center field. That we've known, but lately he's been starting to hit the ball a little bit as well. And I don't know if they've been working with him again about slowing those feet down and not getting that big leg kick, but for some reason he's starting to hit the ball again. Corbin's hitting the ball again. The team seems to be coming around, and I always love Gabby. So Gabby just hits. He just hits, and can he catch? And you don't see guys trying to even run against this guy.
No, he, statistically speaking, he's one of the top catchers in the league in some areas, pop time. And I don't, like I said, I don't keep too many of like the WAR stats, and
Right.
What I do is I feel the game, and when I see Gabby back there and I look at the other team when they got a guy on first base, it doesn't look like they're licking their chops to steal second base like they have in the past against some of the catchers the D-backs have had. Looks like they are very strategic in how they take their leads and when they decide to go, because they know that they have very little chance of being successful against Moreno.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't wait to see this weekend. De La Cruz versus Moreno.
Oh, matchup made, and that's a baseball matchup right there. These are the kind of things I'm looking forward to seeing this weekend. These two clubs are almost evenly matched, got some good young players. And I think that, at the end of the day, with the home field advantage this week, the D-backs, I don't want to go as far as predicting any series sweeps,
no.
but I feel like the D-backs have a really good opportunity to win this series 3-1. But we'll let the chips fall where they may. I've made it clear that as good as De La Cruz is, he's susceptible to strikeouts on low cutting pitches that aren't necessarily strikes or balls, but he has strike two, so he's got to swing. And if we can do that, get him behind in the count, I feel like he's going to strike out a handful of times this weekend or this week, and that may bode well for the team, keeping him off the bases because that guy likes to score a lot.
Yep. Yeah, it should be fun.
Yeah, no, certainly should. Hey, Bob, do you want to talk? We're going to be going Monday from Enchiladas on 17th Street out in the near Glendale Avenue, and we're going to have more on that because we're going to be going live each Monday with the exception of holidays from that location. We'll have more on that. And for reference, my digital stories you can find at tysonomo.com. That's tysonomo.com. Free, no paywalls. And then, of course, Bob has his platform on YouTube. Bob, where can we find your stuff on YouTube?
ProSportsBroadcasting.com. And again, my site is also free. Don't even make you sign up.
No, this is all about freedom of expression for us guys. We're doing the best we can to tell the stories in an authentic way that is conducive with what we both appreciate, which is the First Amendment and the right of to speak freely. So we're very grateful. And thank you to the D-backs as well for giving us the opportunity to do that. So, Bob, with that said, I think it's about time to wrap her up. What do you think?
Let's do it. Let's do it. Well, everybody, this is Bob King Panaris for my partner over here, Brian Cano Sr. We shall see you next time. And next time is going to be next Monday. So if you get a chance, you come out to Enchiladas and you sit in that room with us. We have a very special room, and have some food and have some drink, and we'll be there. So take care, everybody.